Hi, I'm Chris. Today I'm at Donner Lake State Park in California, and I'm going to do some snowshoeing up in the mountains just above the lake here. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Donner Party and what went wrong that winter of 1846. It's snowing pretty good. We got a storm coming in tonight, and 12 inches maybe or more. It's nothing like it was in 1846. They actually got 22 feet deep at one time. But we're going to do some snowshoeing up here. I'm going to head up a little higher up the pass. See it, it's getting windy, the snow's picking up, but we'll keep going. Lake is down there. You can barely see it. The snow's, the clouds have kind of closed it up, but that's where they spent the winter. They finally got some help. A couple of the members were able to break off from the group and get over the pass. And because of the American-Mexican War in 1846, there wasn't a lot of people to send out a rescue party. So they had to kind of delay it, and then by about mid-February, they ended up pulling a group together, and it took them several more weeks to get up and over the pass to bring some help to them. And at that point, food had run out. They had plenty of water because of the snow, but they were resorted to boiling bone from like oxen and actually eating tree bark and the fibers from the tree, just to kind of not be gnawing on something, just to take away that edge. And then at that point, people started to perish and to die, and that's when at some points cannibalism took place. People resorted to eating members of their own families even. It's a quite horrific ordeal that they went through. They lost a lot of weight, and a lot of people died. But here's the pass. I think we're gonna head up here, head up this way, and keep moving up. this is where the Donner Party got stuck. They made several attempts to get up over the pass right here, and the snow was the wind and the snow was so strong that they had to keep turning back. They came, I think they did 5 attempts, and they went back to the lake and ended up staying there. And the snow got so deep that they became snowbound. But you can see how the snow would just go for days. The snowstorms would just go for days, and it would just be feet and feet and feet of snow. And so they were stuck. They couldn't even go back down the mountain, let alone continue on up the mountain. So it was a pretty desperate situation for them folks in winter of 1846, 1847. But really, I think that what I've heard, their biggest mistake was that on their way out, they had a pretty smooth trip on the California Trail from Independence, Missouri, and they got through Missouri and got into Wyoming. And then at Fort Bridger, southwestern Wyoming, they heard about a new route, a shortcut, and they call it a cutoff. It was called the Hastings Cutoff, and it was supposed to go from Fort Bridger south into the Wasatch Range, and then around south of the Great Salt Lake, and then head back up to the main trail. And it turned out the 300 miles that they were going to save, it was so rugged and so windy, and they had to go over the mountains, and it was just a rough route. And so that put them back by 3 weeks, I believe, and it just made things harder and harder and harder on them. And then once you get to northern Nevada, it's just you're in the Great Basin, you're in the desert, and there's not much to. There's the Humboldt River, which people followed to Reno, which is called the Truckee Meadows back in that time, and it was a very small river, and it just drained into a big sinkhole. And so it was just a long, treacherous journey to get up and over the pass and down into California and into more hospitable country. But they had a lot of conflict amongst themselves and tensions, and even at one point a couple of the members of the Donner Reed Party were moving up a hill with their horses, and the horses bumped into each other, and something happened, and they got into a big fight, and next thing you know, somebody pulls out a knife, stabbed them, and actually murdered somebody because the tensions were so high. And they didn't know what to do with this guy. They thought they were going to either hang him, the guy that murdered the other guy, or they weren't sure what to do. So they cut him loose from the group and sent him off into the desert on his own. And apparently he hiked out here on it all by himself. Had to leave his family and everything.
When the Donner Party left from Springfield, Illinois in the spring of 1846, they had 87 people in their party, but because of delays and friction within the group, they did not get to the base of the Sierra Nevadas until late October. And in fact, they were the last party to attempt to cross the pass here. And the first snowstorm of the year was early November, and that's the snowstorm that prevented them from getting over the pass. And that's when they went down to the lake, and they were down there until mid-February before the first rescue party from California was able to come over and provide some assistance. And then it was still another 4 or 5 weeks, well into March after that, before the remaining survivors were helped over the pass here into California. So of the 87 people that made the trip to California, only 48 made it. And exhaustion, extreme cold, and starvation took the rest. But of the people that did make it to California, many of them went on to lead productive lives over there, but the memories of that winter haunted them for the rest of their days.
see you next time. Keep hiking.